Hi everybody, it's Dr. V. Welcome back to my channel. Just first of all, I want to say thank you so much to everybody who's liked, commented, subscribed, shared my videos. I really appreciate just the love and the community here. I wanted to also let you know that I have a video that I posted over in the community tab. It was an interview that I did with a lovely woman over the summer. And so if you want to go check that out, I think you'll find it informative. And I wanted to let you know also that I will be opening up registration and enrollment for my the next round of the Twin Flame coaching program. So if that's something that you're interested in, please head over to my website and learn more about that. So enough announcements, let's just jump right in. Spirit, please use me as a clear channel for communication. May the messages that come through be in the highest good of all those concerned. I draw a sacred circle around this space, setting my ego to the outside. I call upon my ancestors, divine love, higher wisdom, to be with me and protect this space, guide these messages. And so it is. So I'm starting off with the divine masculine, or I think it's a divine feminine, divine masculine reunited deck by Christabel Jessica. So here we're just going to get an overview of the energy, and then we'll dig in a little bit deeper with some other cards. All right. So, ooh, yay. I love this. I just posted about this the other day on my Facebook and Instagram. If you're not following me, you can head over to the tabs and follow me there if you'd like. But I posted this that's about sacred rage. A lot of times, especially for feminines, because we've been taught, feminines have been socialized in many ways away from things like being angry. We've been socialized to, what's that thing? Girls are sugar and spice and everything nice, right? We're sit like a lady, blah, blah, blah. And so a lot of times feminines don't, or get away from feeling their emotions, feeling the darker emotions, rage, anger, because we're not supposed to. And then it comes out in other ways. And so when Sekhmet shows up, it's really saying that this is a power of transformative. This is a sacred rage. This isn't about just like going off the, off the deep end and just being pissed off all the time. It's about channeling your rage when it's about injustice, when things are wrong, when something happens that shouldn't happen, when you're wronged, when you're taken advantage of, when you're hurt, when you're deceived. It's appropriate to feel rage. It's appropriate to feel that sacred rage. It's an indication that your boundaries have been violated. It's an indication that you haven't been treated properly. And so it's important, especially for feminines who this is resonating for, if you've been in a space where you go into that spiritual bypassing, where something happens and you immediately jump to forgiveness. You're like, well, just forgive and forget, and things like that. Well, it's not actually serving you. And so Spirit is guiding you today to tap into that rage. If you're enraged about something, you can use that fuel. You can use that energy as fuel to transform situations. I'm not saying to go off on people and, pull like a Tawanda in the parking lot. If you're not familiar with that, it's from the movie Fried Green Tomatoes. It's hilarious, but I'm not saying to do that. What I'm saying though is to tap into that rage and channel it to positive things. A lot of times you can use that to create, to generate energy to change your life. You get enraged about something and you tap into that energy, you transmute it into something that will help you change a different area of your life. Oftentimes that's what people can do with rage, but it's important to feel it. If it's coming up for you right now, if you've been feeling that, I know I had some people comment last week about feeling really intense emotions. And if that's happening for you, go with it. Let it be what it is. It's what's supposed to be happening right now. And then we have Ganesha, Lord Ganesha, Jason Momoa card. This is about obstructions, okay? This is about really, this energy that the masculine is bringing is the god of obstruction, which is like, okay, so what the hell does that mean? Why would this be happening? Well, it happens because when we have obstacles in our way, when we have things that come against us, challenges that we have to face, we have to approach it in a different way. We can't do what we've always done in light of the obstacles. We have to do something different. We have to change our approach. We have to change our energies. And by doing that, we learn new skill sets. So we either have to rise above the obstacle and figure out a way to transcend it, or we have to learn how to dig deep. Sometimes it's both. We have to learn to dig deep in ourselves, find resources that we didn't know we had, and then we learn how to rise above the circumstances by doing that. And so that's what's happening right now. The masculines may be facing obstacles. There may be challenges that are coming their way. There may be things that have happened, things that are transpiring, have transpired in the past, that have really presented barriers, things that they need to overcome, challenges. And in light of that, they're learning how to transform those energies into something different. The shadow side of this connection right now is boundaries. So, interesting because, oh wait, that's a 5. Wait. Yeah, it's a 5. I thought it was a 3. I was going to say that adds up to a 9, but it's a 5. Boundaries. Boundaries are really important because we have to learn how to have appropriate and healthy boundaries. When we talk about boundaries in psychology, there's different types of boundaries. There's rigid boundaries, which are walls. And when someone has rigid boundaries, you can't get close to them. They keep you at a distance. They just always have a wall up and you can't get close to them. Then we talk about people that have loose boundaries, and those are people who they don't have very good boundaries at all, and they maybe overshare, they get too close, they get really intimate with people really quickly, don't have a separate sense of self. They're the people that they're like, well, whatever their person that they're dating, like if their person's like, I like Chinese, and they didn't like Chinese before, then they're like, great, I like Chinese too, but they won't stand up for themselves. And so it's kind of the other side, the other extreme. Healthy boundaries are what we call permeable boundaries. It's where it's like you keep things out that need to be out, toxic people, toxic situations, but you let in what needs to be let in. So what I'm seeing here with this being the shadow is that there's some boundary issues with this connection, or there has been in the past. Maybe people got too close, too intimate too quickly, and it was too much, it was too intense, and that's part of why people ran. Or people, one or both parties kept the wall up, kept the distance, and people weren't able to get close and create that sense of intimacy. And so you'll know which it is. It's probably a combination of both. It's probably a combination of, push, pull, in and out, getting really close and then pulling away. And so it's very interesting that that's showing up, because what it's saying to me is that this is a time where people need to learn how to set healthy boundaries, how to learn how to identify where they began and another person ends. And not being so caught up in that merging type of energy. That's a very codependent thing. And so right now, it would be important just for you to kind of think about that, to do some self-reflecting. What are my boundaries? Do I have good boundaries? Do I have unhealthy boundaries? How do I explore with that? How do I heal that? What do I need to do? And so the light side of the connection is rebirth. I believe this came through a couple weeks ago. And so this rebirth process is still happening. This is rising from the ashes. This is the phoenix, coming up after having been destroyed. And so I always say this because it feels important to say, but people get excited and sometimes they're like, ooh, yay, a rebirth. But please keep in mind that in order for a rebirth to happen, there has to be a death. And so it's not easy. It's not an easy thing to go through. People may be right now very much going through some difficulties. There may be some things that are falling apart. There may be some things that need to fall apart. There may be some things that you have consciously chose to let go, and that's why this is happening, because you know that in order to have this rebirth, you've got to get out of your own way. You've got to stop doing the things that you've done in the past. And so it's really important to just recognize that. On the bright side, it is happening. Transformations are occurring. If you've been feeling that, if you've been feeling like things are shifting with your counterpart, things are shifting with you, it's because they are. The energies are pointing in that direction, like it's time for a rebirth. Excuse me while I take a sip. This is a lot of people, I know that for me, like I posted on social media that January was the longest year ever. January felt like it dragged. It felt like it was a really long, intense month. And February is bringing with it some new energies, some new, it feels lighter, it feels more conducive to growth. And so if you've been feeling that, if you've been feeling like, okay, it's time to take these take my goals to the next level or do something different, that's why that's happening, because it is time for a rebirth. So let's move this aside. And I'm going to use the Psychic Tarot for the Heart by John Holland. One of my viewers mentioned that sometimes I name the decks while I'm shuffling and you can't hear it, so I'm trying to be really conscious of that so that you can hear what decks I'm using. So we're going to find out what the overall connective energy is. We're going to look at the what's ahead. Connective energies, what each person is bringing. All right, so the connective energies, right off the jump, we have Heal, which is the star card in the traditional tarot. The solar plexus, Chakra. Ooh, and Love. Aww. Yay. Yay. All right, so people are healing. Look at that. The chains are falling away. This is people really starting to get into that space of freedom and liberation. You guys know that my catchphrase is love and liberation, and we've got those two things right here. Like, how awesome. But that's the thing. People are really in a space right now of things are falling away. Shackles are falling away. I keep hearing that song. What is it? Amazing Grace, where it's like, my chains are gone. I've been set. I don't remember how it goes. But anyway, so people are healing right now. There are things that are coming full circle. There are things that are transforming. There are things that are really having to, really coming around. The chains are falling. I just keep seeing people, like things that have been like bondage for a long time. It might be codependence, addictions, negative belief systems, ways of being, are really, the shackles are falling away. People are starting to heal. This is about forgiveness. This is about, really feeling hope and inspiration for the future. I wouldn't be surprised if you and your counterpart went parted ways in a negative way, like it wasn't great. Maybe you got ghosted, or they did something kind of shitty and then disappeared and just didn't reach out to you anymore, and you've kind of been like, what's going on? Why did that happen? I wouldn't be surprised at all if you heard from them, got a text message, an email, where they just apologize and ask for forgiveness. And I'm not saying that you're going to come back into full union or anything like that. I'm just saying that part of this, I feel like there's a real deep sense of releasing the chains, forgiving each other, and moving forward, because that's what needs to happen in order for this connection, well, for both people to be free. You can't be free if you're holding on to shit from the past. And I feel like that's what's happening. It's like people recognize that in order to get out of these chains, they're going to have to release people, energies, situations that don't serve anymore, and move toward healing and hope. This solar plexus chakra is really about willpower. It's about sexuality. This is about creativity. This is a really important energy. And so this is about identifying what people like. This is getting clear about what it is that I want. Okay, this is like, what do I want? What is it that I want to create in the world? What do I want to bring forth in the world? When this is blocked, people might not be clear about their desires. They might not be sure what they want. It's like that movie, The Notebook, where I think his name is Noah, where he's like, what do you want? It's like, that's what Spirit's asking people. Like, what is it that you want truly, without ambivalence, without hesitation? If money, time, if you didn't have any obstacles in your way, what would you go for? And go for that. Stop setting your sights so low, right? Go for what you really want. Get clear about that. Set your vision. Get like very clear about what it is that you want to do, so you can go forward. If you're not feeling it, if you're not able to tap into that, or you feel afraid, if you feel like there's a block in this area, this is kind of in like the navel area. If you feel that, then do some work on healing that. You can look up ways to unblock your chakras, but one of the ways you can do is kind of tap on it or rub on it, release some of that energy. You can visualize healing. You can eat foods and things that are associated with this. That would be like, I believe it's like yellow fruits, so like bananas. Yeah, I'd have to look. I don't know right off the top of my head, but it's you can research that. and get clear about what that is, but really focus on unblocking that and healing that, so you can get clear on what you want and what you want to do going forward. That's what what's happening right now, is that both people, because this is connective energy, both people are recognizing that they need to heal, that they need to get clear about what they want, because what being unclear, being uncertain, is blocking the love that they want. That both people crave, that both people desire, okay? Both people want that. I mean, most people do. Most people deeply desire that kind of soulful, passionate, compassionate, unconditional love, if they will only let themselves be honest and experience that. The Lover's card is also about a choice. This is people recognizing that they need to make choices. They need to do things, maybe do things differently. Asking yourself, is the choice that I'm making moving me closer to my desire, to the love that I desire to have in my life, or is it keeping me further away? And if it's keeping you apart, if it's keeping you further away, if you're not moving toward love with the choices that you're making, then you're moving away from love. And so you may have to start making different decisions. You may start having to look at things, approaching things differently and making choices based on that. And so that's where people are moving. What I feel is that people are breaking the chains, getting clear about what they want, and making choices that are moving them toward love. So what is the masculine bringing? We've got choose your battles, love abounds. So we've got 2 7s there. So choose your battles. This is about recognizing that not everything that you know, what's that saying? Like, you don't have to attend every argument you're invited to. And that's what the masculine is understanding right now, that there may be some energies that they've invested in situations that didn't need to be invested in. Spent a lot of time maybe arguing, maybe wasting time and energies that just don't work. And so they're starting to understand that they need to choose how they're going to go forward, that they don't want to necessarily continue to focus on battle energies or fighting energies or being at odds with people or situations or with themselves, that they need to start making better choices about how they spend their energy. Because there is this new beginning of love that wants to happen. They want this. They're craving this new beginning in love, this abundance of love. They're wanting that new energy to come forward. But as long as you remain in conflict all the time, it's really hard to create an energy and space for love. And so part of what they're doing is having to go within. That seeking the truth is an important energy for them to get into. They have to understand that that seeking the truth means going within and finding out what the hell's going on. What is it in me that's blocking me this from coming forward? Why do I continue to have these situations present themselves? I feel like for a lot of the masculines that I'm reading for particularly, that they are people that in the past have historically blamed other people or other situations. This person did this person did that, this happened to me, right? Things where they kind of fell into like a victim stance, where they didn't necessarily take responsibility for their situation, their lives. But now they're starting to understand that if they keep having the same situation over and over and over again, that maybe it's something that they're doing. I mentioned this before, but when I was still doing counseling, I had a client that I worked with, and every time that we met, this person would come in and it would be like an argument with this person, an argument with that person, being at odds with this person. And after about 4 weeks of that, I finally said, what's the common denominator here? What's the common factor with all of these relationship issues? And the person said, it's me. And I was like, okay, now we can start working. That's right. What are you contributing to this? And I feel like the masculines that I'm reading for have had that revelation, that they've looked at it and I'm like, okay, so I have maybe a trail of broken hearts. I have a bunch of feminines that if you ask them about me, they wouldn't have nice things to say. Well, maybe it's not all them. Maybe it's not all their fault. Maybe I'm the problem here. And they've started to realize that, and they're going within to figure that out, because they're really recognizing that their patterns and behaviors are keeping them from this abundance of love. So what is the feminine bringing? So we've got repetitive 1s again and 7s. So we've got a lot of mirroring happening here. which I like. So, the feminines are in a space of rest and reconsideration. This is, if you look, this person, it looks like they've climbed a mountain. They're kind of looking at things from a different perspective. So it feels like the feminines have gotten some distance from the situation. Whereas a lot of people were really trapped in illusions and fantasies toward the end of 2018. It feels like people have really gotten a different perspective, have started to see things from a higher level. They're understanding things in a new light. And because of that, they're able to take a breather, okay? That's what this rest and reconsideration, to kind of taking a breather, getting off the crazy train that is twin flame journey, and really getting a break, taking some steps back. Really, you might be feeling that. You might be feeling tired if you've been feeling like tired, like you just kind of want to rest and feeling like you want to take naps. If you're able to do that, do that. If you can't, do other things to rest, go to bed early, take care of yourself, eat nurturing foods, engage in nurturing exercises, whatever that means for you, but really rest. This is not the time to push yourself. This is not the week to go into overdrive and to try and do everything. This is really a time to slow it down and to rest and to look at things and from a new light. Look at it from a different perspective, rise above the noise and see things differently. Because part of what you're supposed to be doing right now is getting solid in your base chakra. This is about really getting solid in who you are, your place and your belonging in the world. This is sort of finding a home, feeling at home. And so if you don't have a physical home that you feel at home in, it's important to really create that energy. If you do have a physical home, make sure that you feel solid and stable. Do any energy clearings if you need to, such as smudging or whatever kind of ceremony you do. If you need to establish better financial situations, work on that, dedicate yourself to that, put your effort into that. This is really about finding a space and a sense of stability and a sense of belonging in this world. If you've been feeling not rooted in that area, if you've been feeling, this is, the root chakra, if you've been feeling kind of not grounded, it's important to do some exercises around that. Again, eating foods that will help encourage that. That's proteins, red fruits, beets, things like that. I've actually been working on that personally for the last week, and so it's exciting to see that show up because it's like something that I've been really dedicated to, eating nuts, so on and so forth, but really getting rooted and deeply grounded. Again, if you've been feeling kind of, out of control, or you feeling like your energy's been all over the map, that's going to really help you. Because this is the time to focus on both your daydreams and your decisions. So this is about, again, I keep getting this message about creating the world that you want, creating the life that you want. What's your vision for your life? What is it that you want to see? What is it that you want to manifest? What is it that you want to create? Daydream, dream big, see big things, and then come back down to earth and make decisions that are going to get you closer in alignment to that. So what does that look like? What does that look like in a practical reality? Being in this space, does that look like you want to live in LA or Hawaii? Well, what are you going to have to do to get there? What is it that you're going to have to do to create that space? How do you get to the 7 habits of highly effective people? One of the 7 habits is begin with the end in mind. And so look at the big picture. What is it that you want to create, and when do you want to, how do you want to, what time frame would you like to get there? So if it's like, well, I'd like to live by the ocean by the end of 2019. Well, what do you need to do to get there, and how are you going to strategize that? So don't just daydream, okay? And don't just make decisions without any passion or imagination. You've got to have a balance of both. You've got to look at both, bring both of those into your decision-making capabilities so that you can create what it is that you want. So what's likely ahead for this connection? Oh my gosh, I love that. Look, we've got mirrored 9s again. We have dreams coming true, opportunity beckons, and clarity of belief. All of these green cards, by the way, are all emotions. So we've got 4 emotions cards here. That's really important. So we have dreams coming true. This is about really what's ahead for this connection is people are going to start seeing their dreams coming true. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get back together and things are going to work out immediately, but I do feel like there will be communication for a lot of people. I do feel like very clearly that there's going to be some olive branches extended, peace offerings, where people are really going to want to clear the energy of the past and able to be able to move forward. And for some of you, getting an apology, a sincere apology, might be enough. It might be enough for you to feel good about going forward in peace. But you definitely, some dreams that you've been holding dear to your heart are going to be coming true. This is definitely about manifesting what it is that you want. So be very clear about what your dreams are. Be very clear about what it is that you want to have come to light in your life, because this is ahead for you. It's possible for you to have your dreams, the passions, the desires that you want. If you focus on it, it's not just enough to think about it every now and then. You've got to visualize it. You've got to see it and see it, really truly see it come to pass. Feel it in your body. What is it going to feel like when your dreams come true? And stay in that space. Try to get into that experience and live in that space, because that's going to really help you to move forward. Because there are opportunities ahead, okay? There are things that are, sorry, I just bumped the camera. There are things that are ahead that want to come forward. There are things that dreams, passions, opportunities are going to be. I feel like a lot of people are going to get literally opportunity knocking, where people, maybe your dream job that you put in for and you're like, I don't know, maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't. Maybe you apply for something that you feel like you're not qualified for, and then you get the job. Whatever that might be for you. But there are opportunities that are ahead for you. I feel like there are opportunities, again, I keep getting this for peacemaking. There's an opportunity ahead for you, your counterpart, to really create a sense of peace and to be able to move forward in a new light, where there's not all the tension and negativity from the past, where maybe you'll be able to have a conversation or exchange emails and just be like, hey, I'm really sorry for what happened. Please forgive me. And then that's an opportunity to move forward with peace in your hearts toward each other. Because here's the thing, this clarity of belief, this is that aha moment. This is what is happening, is that somebody is going to get really clear, that's just what I keep getting. It's like suddenly there's going to be the lights come on, and there's going to be oh wow, now I understand what was going on. Now I see. I didn't see it before. It wasn't clear before, but now it is, and I've got it. I understand in a way that I didn't understand before. And that is going to help shift things. I almost get the sense that there may be where they felt, remember how I was saying earlier, especially with the masculines, might have been in a space of feeling victimized before, where things happened to them, where they might have been well, this person did this, and they might have been angry at you and felt like you did something to them. And now they might be understanding, wait a minute, this is what I did. This is how I contributed to that. Having an aha moment that maybe this person wasn't so awful after all. Maybe it was something that I did and I contributed to that, and I need to clean up my side of the street and take care of my stuff, because it wasn't completely the other person's fault. I feel like that might be happening for people, where that aha moment happens and they're like, wow, now I finally see it. So let's move this aside. And we're going to use the Sacred Rebels Oracle. And this is going to be blocks and advice. I'm only going to pull one today. I feel led to only do one. So, blocks. Okay, so here's the thing, why this is showing up in the block position. It's what is already within you, what is already with you. It's that you already have everything that you need. You might be looking around elsewhere. You might be thinking, well, if only I had this. But the thing is the answer's already there. That's why this clarity of belief and seeking the truth card came out, because It's already there. The answers are already there. The insight, the wisdom, what you need to know is already present within you. In both people, if you would just look within. And so this is a call to contemplation. So if you're not meditating, if you're not sitting in the silence, if you're not allowing spirit to speak, if you're not allowing your inner self, your higher wisdom to speak, this is going to be very important for you to do, because the answers all are already there. If you're looking elsewhere, if you're looking, literally looking anywhere else, it's like the answers are there. Look within. Turn your focus back inside, because that's going to be where you're going to find what you're looking for. And the advice from spirit is receiving. Wow. Okay, so we've got the 17 and the 27. So this is about really getting into a space of opening yourself up to receiving what life wants to give to you, what the universe wants to give to you. You might actually be resistant to that. You might actually be feeling a sense of resistance to receiving. Maybe there are other things, opportunities, love offers that are coming, that want to come to you, but you're not allowing yourself to receive. You may have made sort of a mental agreement that the only way that you can receive love, or the only way that you want to receive love, is through your counterpart. And I understand that, I totally get it, but it's actually a limiting belief. So this is saying, really let go of any guilt or any shame that you might feel about having these needs, about having the desire to have your needs met, about wanting to receive the abundance that is available to you. Release and allow the universe to give to you, because this is the thing. If just like, I don't know if you're gift givers, but do you know that, like, how fun it is, like, to be able to give gifts to the people that you love? You know, I think about like for my kids' birthdays, I need to say it quiet because they're home, they might hear me, is that we always do a scavenger hunt. Like, so it's like, you know, all this like extra effort to put together the scavenger hunt that they go on, and they get to find, they get gifts at every stop, and they get notes, and it's super exciting. And it's like, it's so much fun to do that. So much fun to watch their eyes light up when they figure out the clue, and so on and so forth. And that's how the universe feels about giving you things. The universe delights. The divine loves to give you things that you want. When you're excited, when the universe delivers the miracle, and you're like, oh my God, this is amazing, and you're so excited, the universe loves that. So open yourself up to that. Open yourself up to receiving all of the goodness that is available to you. This is the advice card. Open up. Literally open your arms up and open up wide and say, I open myself to receive all the goodness that is available to me. And do that every day, 10 times a day, 20 times a day, whatever. And then really look for the blessings that want to come through, because there are blessings that want to come through for you. There are miracles, there are things that you couldn't even have imagined in your wildest dreams that want to happen for you. So open yourself up to receive it. Very beautiful. So, that was the Sacred Rebels Oracle, Alana Fairchild, and this is the Twin Flame and Soulmate Oracle. This is not the one by Angela at Mystic Moon. This is a different one by Karen, one of my lovely viewers, and so I'll post the link in the comment section so you can buy these. It's a really great deck. Look at the love energies. So, wow, wild ride, no shit. Imagine. Second time that message has come through in connection. So I feel like this is like, wow, you know, the overall energy is that people are both people are feeling like, wow, this is really, it's been a wild ride. This shit's been intense. You know, it's been like a roller coaster, but it's been exciting too, right? It's been exciting, it's been transformational, it's been a lot of things. Not that it hasn't been difficult, but it's been a wild ride. Both people are feeling that. Now there's this energy of imagination. Imagine the possibilities. Both people are thinking about this. I get really clearly that there are a lot of people that are kind of in their imagination thinking about connections, imagining this connection. What would it be like to come back together? What would it be like to be in the same space again? What would it be like to come together and kind of say like, wow, yeah, this has been a wild ride, and to be able to communicate about it, to talk about it, and to heal some of those things. I just keep getting this message of healing, that some of the breaches in relationships and these connections are going to be healed soon. So what is in the headspace of the person for whom you're watching? Romance. Oh my God, practical twin flame. And signs. You guys, you can't make this shit up, I'm telling you. They're thinking about this, okay? They're thinking about this romance, that the connection that you had, the intensity of the connection. They may not know the word twin flame. They may not even think about it. They may not even understand it, but they're really thinking about that. This is an interesting energy because it feels like what they're understanding is that this connection is intense. You know, the wild ride card came out. And so in their headspace, they might be thinking about trying to create an energy with maybe a third party that's more practical, where they're trying to make somebody else into mold into this energy because it seems to make more sense, okay? But they understand that this connection with you is unlike anything that they've had with anybody else. They know it, they feel it, and they're really trying to understand it. This is mental space, remember, so they're really trying to understand it. And you can't understand like heart issues through logic, and so it's, you know, maybe something that they need to really just drop in their heart space and feel, but really they're kind of sitting in a space of trying to make sense of this. But here's the thing, signs. They're seeing signs everywhere. I'm not surprised by that because I've been seeing a lot of signs lately, a lot of number synchronicities, names, things like that popping up. So you've probably been seeing that too. Let me know in the comments if you have, but here's the thing, they're also seeing it. They're also seeing signs, they're seeing your name, they're, I keep getting like smells too, smells that they associate with you. It could be like a restaurant that you went to together, your perfume, somebody like walks down the aisle at the grocery store or wherever and they're wearing the same perfume as you and it reminds them of you. Scent is a very, brings back, you know, very, evokes a lot of memories, and I feel like that's happening. I feel like they're just really thinking a lot about you right now. So what's in their heart space? We got walk away. The chaser. Whoa, and 3's a crowd. So, wow, that's amazing. So in their heart space, they know that there's something that they need to walk away from because 3's a crowd. So here's the thing, even if you aren't in contact with them, if they're in a third party situation, if they are with somebody else or have been dealing with somebody else or left you for somebody else, they're recognizing that 3's a crowd. And even if, like I said, you're not in communication, your energy is still very present with them. Your energy is very, very present, and they feel it, and they're realizing that they need to do something to close that out. Either with the other person or to achieve peace with you, so that they're not in that space of feeling this, you know, 3 people sleeping in this bed kind of energy. That's what they recognize that they need to do something about. They've been holding you in their heart space for quite some time, and they're ready to do something about it. So that could be, for many of them, walking away from lesser situations, lesser energies where they're feeling like, you know, this connection, maybe they're in a third party situation that's more practical, that it's easy, it doesn't challenge them, and they're like, okay, this is, you know, cool, but they're really recognizing that that's maybe not what they want. Maybe they don't want that in the long term, and they're going to have to walk away and make some decisions to get out of that energy. Now, the chaser, this would be you, the person that's watching. They do perceive you as a chaser. They may not know that, they may not use that language, they may not understand, again, what this feels like, but they do feel like you were in the pursuer position, that you were chasing them, that you maybe wanted this connection more than they did at a certain point. But they're thinking about you now. They're really thinking about how hard you worked, how much you invested into this connection. And they're realizing, well, damn, you know, like, this person really cared about me. This person really loved me. And they're really willing to do things that maybe other people in the past haven't been willing to do. And why did I walk away from that? Why did I fuck that up? Maybe because third party situation, maybe they were afraid, maybe there was a third energy. Karmic energy doesn't have to be a third, like a person, it can be a job, it can be other things. But they're really in their heart space thinking about, you know, maybe that wasn't such a good idea after all. Maybe I shouldn't have walked away from this person who clearly was invested in me and was willing to put so much energy in this connection. So let's move this aside, and we're going to wrap this up with some final messages from, this is the Lover's Oracle by, I don't know who it is, Tony Carmine Salerno. That's who it is. And this is messages from their higher self. So Spirit, 3 messages from their higher self, please. The higher self of the person watching. And as always, guys, these are general readings. If it doesn't fully resonate with you, take what does, leave the rest. If it doesn't resonate at all, it may not be for you. Okay. The first message, look inside yourself. Examine what is causing you to feel this way. The next message, wow, you guys, I swear you can't make this up. New beginning. A new adventure awaits. Embrace it and live your dreams passionately. And final message, imagine all unwanted thoughts dissolving into light, creating room for new opportunities and possibilities for your life. I really feel very clearly, I know I've said this a couple of times, but there's new beginnings ahead for this connection. There are new energies, there are new opportunities, there are new things that are happening. So open yourself to receive those new opportunities, those new beginnings. You may be surprised by what shows up for you. So I hope that this reading was helpful. Please let me know if you have any questions. Take care. Bye.